Lord Thundercross arose from behind the large electronic holomap that was mounted inside and atop a stout, beautifully carved and midnight blue-stained marble bark table that occupied much of the war chamber. I too must retire to my flourishing provinces. An organized cult of necromancers who called themselves the Boneclaw clan have been apprehended by my elite royal witch hunters and are due to be executed tomorrow. My high executioner needs the practice, he joked grimly. Lord Thundercross had executed more prisoners than most of the others combined. At that moment there was what seemed like a flash of bright purple light, but it did not shock the eyes. A sweeping, circling wind became apparent, and then the 7 allied kings witnessed Kzamanarch materialize in front of them. He was levitating cross-legged above the strategic map of the global situation. Such an insult was unheard of. In this time of magic and unexplained happenings, the lords were not shocked. Rather, they were outraged at the audacity of the intruder. All 7 rulers began to unsheath and draw their excellent quality weapons from where they were secured. Lord Bloodcross was retrieving his stinger cannon from the swiveling, artistically gold-embossed black throne it was leaning against. Lord Firecross reefed urgently at the sling of his Utopian multi-barreled Gatling assault shotgun. Its long belt of scarlet-colored shells swept over the ground as he wrenched the ungainly beast around. Lord Steelcross already had his incredibly advanced chainsword in his hands. He fingered the trigger, initiating a high-pitched precision whine that echoed imposingly around the multi-regal chamber. He had been making a point of showing Lord Silvercross the latest technique for disarming an opponent that he had refined in his studies when Kzamanarch transposed himself magically into their midst. Lord Steelcross was one of only 2 Detosian lords that opted against operating exoskeleton armor. The enchanted euphorium, sever-bladed cutting teeth on his weapon were capable of sawing their way through anything that had it encountered to date. Indeed, the infamous tool of war had been used in propaganda demonstrations for his citizens in previous years, severing the main gun from captured enemy tanks, the axles of wrecked mining vehicles, destroying reputedly unbreakable magical artifacts, and of course, eliminating enemies of the state. Kzamanarch had to act immediately to avoid this formidable shrieking blur as it approached his upper body at tremendous speed. Kzamanarch made an ellipse in the air with one hand while moving the other from left to right and twisting his fingers in an uncomfortable-looking fashion. Lord Steelcross was unleashing one of his most practiced sword strokes to the throat of his major adversary when his blade suddenly and unexpectedly became severely buckled and twisted. The chain was still spinning impossibly, and it spiraled around to make contact with Lord Steelcross's face. He tried in vain to drop the now belligerently animated weapon, but it was magically adhered to his hands. The short, sharp scream that followed coincided with a heavy shower of fine blood, flicked up and outward by the digging, mechanically powered chain blade. It covered everyone else in the room and ran down their angered faces.